today's speaker. His name is Larry Ellison. Larry is the general manager at Hardwoods Incorporated. So that was a nice segue for one of your products. They had their customer appreciation day about a month ago, I believe, and Larry was demonstrating down there, and several of us had a chance to talk to him, and well, you'll get a chance to see him. It's a pretty impressive demonstration. But Larry, it's obviously we're doing some steam bending, some shaker boxes, some kitchen spatulas, and you've been doing this for quite a while.
Quite a while. The shaker box is almost 20. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's conducted classes in other places. So with that, I'm going to bring you up. And do you have a mic or not?
I do.
Okay.
He's got wired.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Am I live? Yes. That's a shame. I'm sorry you have to put up with me for an hour, but I speak Southern. I've had trouble going across the country demonstrating. Some people I have to get an interpreter. So I've worked for Hardwoods Incorporated. That time as Atlanta Wood Products in '97, and I worked for those guys for 3 years. My wife got transferred, gone for 10. And I'm back. So anytime you have a chance to come see us at Hardwoods Incorporated, look me up, call me. My cards are over here. I'd love to have everyone down. Please, when you come, say hi to us and make sure you're in our system. That way you can get emails on our specials and things like that. But I'm Larry Ellison. I live in Vinings here, and I'm a shaker box maker. I started sort of on my own, and then a couple of years later I took a class by John Wilson, and he's out of Charlotte, Michigan. He measured all the boxes and that were in the museums from the original shaker people, and got all the patterns and kind of revived this 30 years, 40, 35 years ago. He's a very nice man. I ask you to get in contact with him and take a class from him if you have a chance. He's a very good teacher. But I've got about an hour, and if you want me to go longer, I can. I'm going to try to cover a whole lot of stuff and try to perk your interest, not just in shaker boxes, but we have, kitchen utensils. These were the original kitchen Tupperware. But kitchenware goes well, no matter if it's tongs or spatulas or whatever, and they're great gifts, and you could also sell them. But the shaker boxes were originally designed by the shaker people, which was a religious group of people, very, very unique people. They invented the safety pin, the circular saw, the cutting harrow, a disc plow, and these shaker boxes. They also had their own seed company, and they have a unique style of architecture as well, and it's simple and plain, and yet it makes sense. So, but the shaker boxes, they put seeds in them, they put buttons in them, used them as sewing boxes. They were the original Tupperware, and I think they're pretty unique because if you have round containers, which a lot of people made round ones in the 1860s or so in the cheese boxes, if you have a round box and you put it in the corner and you have all this dead space, you could probably put a few of these in the corner. And if you line these up, they waste very little space. You can nest your pantry very easily. Now we use them mostly for gifts and for display, but they'll outlast your grandkids if you build them right. So there is no glue on these. They're put together with copper tacks and wooden pegs. And I weigh 205 pounds or so, and I can take a number one and stand on it. And it's like the egg thing, you can break it one way, but you can't break it the other. So, but they're very unique, very strong. And I'm going to show you I'm going to demonstrate how to make a shaker box from start to finish. And then we're going to roll into spatulas. And I'll probably, before the spatulas, I'll talk about some of the other things that are like the shaker carriers, which are Christmas tree ornaments. They also, if you put, which is this, if you put, it's a nice Christmas tree ornament. If you hang that up, looks very nice. And you can use them all year round. They have the miniature small square salt and pepper shakers. And you leave those on your table, or if you have guests over, you put one in front of everyone's plate, and their salt and pepper shaker they can take as a gift when they go home. It's kind of unique. Or you can give them a spatula, or you can not give them anything, but I do have one thing I need to do before I get started, and let's see. For the TV value here, I'll do this before we get going. Good thing about not being recorded is everybody forgets when you screw up or when you take too much time.
Larry's doing that. If you all want to, after the meeting, come up here and take a look at the lids on these boxes. I now understand why I don't see much in the way of bird's eye maple when I go down there to plant hardwood.
Yeah, we like the bird's eye on the tops. The bird's eye is nice. Traditional shaker boxes were actually waxed or milk painted. They weren't. We used bird's eye on the tops. I don't know that any were ever made from the shaker people that have bird's eye, but for visual, modern people like the bird's eye maple, the curly maple, lacewood, American lacewood, which is actually quarter-sawn sycamore. That looks really nice too. If you take it to a very high polish, it looks like you could stick your finger down in it. It's very very nice. And that is hot water, by the way.
You need more water?
No, I think I'm good on the water. I'm looking for the set of tongs that should be sitting around, so I don't have to grab those out by my bare hands.
My good TV, just grab them by your hand.
Yeah. Oh, those are just wooden ones. These are, it's another little thing that we're going to make. We have some classes. These are wooden tongs. There's some different type of tongs out there that,
Sorry about that.
a lot of different tongs out there. These are scrap. You can just rip these off your scrap boards, and it's just another thing to use your scrap up. Or sell them for $45 like I do. I don't know, has anybody ever seen the type of spring tongs that they sell at Williams-Sonoma? These are about $60, I think, $45 to $60, depending on where you buy them. You kind of need to be able to bend wood to make these. The way I bend these is in this tray, and it's just simply quarter-inch material, 12 inches or so. Inch and a quarter, inch and a half. And then you have to build your spring in the wood. And I don't like to put these in a dishwasher, but you can. But of course, you have to bend your offset. They're mirrored pieces. And then you have to turn them inverted. I'd actually drill them like this. Drill a pin, brass pin back here in the pivot. And then when you assemble it, drive your pin through there, and it'll be assembled like that. And then you have your spring. But you need to be able to bend them. You have to bend the offset and make it stay loaded. You actually have to overbend. Most wood you'll have to overbend and allow for spring back. And these are spring, of course, but when you flip them, they tongs and spatulas and bend them on Thursday night, and then on Saturday we'll come back in and finish them.
Do you normally use cherry as the
I like cherry because I think it ages well, especially for utensils when you wash them. I've got some maple. I've got a bird's eye maple one I was going to bend today. Maple looks kind of tired for a kitchen utensil pretty quick. The walnut looks great. You sand it back down and re-oil it, and it looks great again. They both hold up. Maple holds up very well. It just doesn't look as attractive. The shaker boxes, we start out with a top and a bottom band, and it's going to be square on both ends like that. You can rip your own, or you can just simply buy them from John Wilson in Michigan. For my trays, I make a large serving tray, a 6, a 7, and an 11, and I usually rip those myself because the 11 is, it's like 7 feet long, and UPS gets kind of expensive. So, and I like to pick my own grain. I like straight grain, no grain run out, no knots in it, things like that. But John has some premium wood that he brings that out of as well. You'll get bands. They're various thickness depending on the size of the band. the smaller the band, the thinner they are. There's a chart as far as thickness, how many thousandths that they are. The trays, typically they're 1/8 inch. The bigger trays, if they make them like a coffee table size, I may put a little heavier and I may put a little taller. Actually, may make the band. Okay, we have square wood that we're going to drill. We have to trace our pattern for the fingers and the holes for the tacks. Because remember, there's no glue. We're going to drill these. If you don't pre-drill them, they will split. Even though it's a very fine micro tack, it will split the wood. And if you do these in your kitchen, please keep good control of these tacks. A little war story I have, I tell every time I demo, is when I started this years and years ago, my wife, I worked second shift, so I'd come in the evenings and I'd start making some boxes and had it crossways on the stove there, and I'd make shaker boxes. Well, I dropped some of these tacks. Thought I found them. I didn't, and my wife's a good lady. She puts up with me a lot. So anyway, I did not find one tack. Thank the Lord that I found it the next day, and she didn't. But I stepped on that tack. Evidently, it was facing up, and they're 3/16 or so, and their copper tacks are pretty soft. And I stepped on it, bottomed it out in my heel, and I guess I cinched it over just a little bit. I wanted it out of my foot bad, and it was quite difficult to get that thing out. And boy, you talk about, and it's very small, but that thing was sore. So please, especially if you do it at home and in the kitchen, keep a good close eye on your tacks. So we're going to drill and cut these on the bandsaw. I have them all pre-done for the class just for time's sake. Then we have to soak the fingers in hot water, and that allows us to determine the inside and outside of the box. These are sliced on a veneer knife, and even if you rip them yourself, they're going to curl one way or another. You're going to have a smiley face. You're going to have the band. It's going to be doing this. So the inside of this curl is the outside of the box. It does two things. It eliminates you from having a box that is concaved on the outside, as well as the specific fibers. There's a tight side and a loose side on the veneer knife. These things are sliced off a quarter of a log. And then there's a knife down here. When you slice into wood, you have a compression side and a light side. The compression side is where the fibers have been compressed against the knife. So that's gonna when we release it with hot water, that's gonna tell on itself. So we have to put the inside of the curl to the outside of the box. The way we do that, we're gonna soak these in hot water. Aha, the magic of TV. The inside of that curl, and you can feel it's very loose and very tight this way. The inside here of that curl is going to be the outside of my box. And if you're doing classes, we do this. We can taper them. We have to taper the back side to make a nice lap. So this is flush on the inside when it laps around. You can taper it before, you can taper it after. There's no inside or outside to that. It doesn't matter. This one is actually bending a lot of different ways, if you can see down it. That's going to be a wild one. There's obviously something going on in the grain. I'll pass this around when we get that